Rob, would you grab my tablet, please? Sure. I'm live. Okay, so I can check in. And it's saying I need to open it. Hello, welcome. Big Heart, Bigger Axe. Welcome in. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Sarita. Prozen. How is everybody doing today? I'm a hot mess. It's hot outside. Hello, hello. Hi, Bay. Again. Um, had a
Yes, it's working.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's a bit of a delay, but it's there.
It's there?
Yes. It says you are live.
Okay, so I don't need to open this. I will. How is everyone today? I'm getting it together. This is going to be take 2 because we did this Tuesday and it said it was streaming to YouTube and it wasn't. And I want to be able to get it on there and make sure. So if you are on YouTube, welcome. We are live streaming from an app called Whatnot. And I have my chat up and we're good to go. Hi, everybody. Hi, Tara. Tara, honey, are you okay? I didn't realize that you had a accident. Is everything okay? I have the utmost faith that your swaps are going to show up at your house or my house. Wendy, thank you. Good. So we're doing this. We're going to repeat what we did, which is good because those that missed Tuesday can check it out, and then it will be on YouTube for the journal series. We're going to do the belly band and we're going to do the batik fabric. Tara, so you know, I was going to type this morning to you and I'm like, it's just too much. If your swaps show up at my house per chance, I will put them in a priority envelope so we have tracking and I will get them sent out to you. I will let you know. But if they happen to show up at your house, let me know as well. So we'll get this done. So, are we ready to play? I'm going to set this down here. I am going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started. And if you want to play along, grab your mental health journal. And we will just get this going. All right. Covering everything up so when I move you, it doesn't make you dizzy and sick and all those things that it does. There, pretty papers. Okay. So to get started, if you want to play along with me, for the batik project, it is a faux batik, and so you know, I have an old, it's like a essential oil or a wax melt, and I have a candle inside of it. I just use, I have a jar of chopped up wax pieces. You can use beeswax. We discussed possibly using colored waxes. I would be very careful of the colors in them if you want your project to maintain white. Or if you specifically want to get the color, maybe grab some red wax. There's so many different things you can do with this project. So I'm going to go ahead and light this candle and I'm going to let this wax start melting because it takes a minute. And I know you all don't want to be here all day on your Friday afternoon. Cynthia, hello, my sweet. How are you doing? So we got it. All right. In our journal, we're going to kind of backtrack a little bit. Last week, we did an 9x6 envelope. We kind of did like a masterboard type thing on here with book pages. And then we added a napkin to it for decoration. We decided to make it into a booklet with pockets. We can cover these, we just haven't yet. And so we grabbed some random papers and jelly prints and did a pamphlet stitch binding into this. And we needed a way to get this in our journal, but to make it functionable. Thank you, babe. Wendy, you'll happily spend the rest of your day with me. We may do that. You never know. So I wanted a way to get it into our journal. So what we did is we created on one of our it's a blank page. We created a belly band. We stamped a saying, decorated it, put some stamps. We're going to recreate this today. And this is a way where you can keep small notebooks, whatever. If you have ephemera that you want to keep, tags, anything. Good, Tara. Thank you for checking YouTube. I appreciate it. So we're going to do this again. Cynthia says, I have been in packing, moving, and unpacking mode for what seems like over a month, ready to get back to the world of creatives. We are ready to have you back, my friend. Summertime is twofold. It is either really, really busy because you've got kids and vacations and all the things, or it is crafting time to start getting ready for the holidays and holiday sales. Um, so we're going to kind of be doing both. I'm going to be doing a lot more projects, and I'm probably going to be doing a lot more pop-ups. I was talking with a friend the other day, and she was telling me, you create all this stuff and you show us at the end of it what you do. Why not just go live while you're creating and show us how you do it? And I'm like, I just don't normally do pop-ups because I normally do scheduled shows. So I may be doing some future pop-ups. I think what I should probably do is just create, I don't know, a half a dozen shows that say pop-up crafting and do that. I actually did that in the bead room yesterday and made some jewelry. So kind of the premises of that is I'm going to get some shows put into Whatnot so you guys can bookmark them and do that. I'm going to stop babbling. We're going to do, I like this paper. Um, it has the brown on the other side. So we had this, our pages are 7.5 inches long. Or is it 7.25? See, I forgot. It's 7.25. So our pages are 7.25 inches long. So in creating a belly band, we need it to be a half an inch to an inch longer on either side. So we can wrap it around or we can glue it to the page. So taking that measurement, we are going to grab our paper cutter. Hi, Maria. How are you, my friend? And I want to do this probably 1.5 inches wide, I think is what we did. And this is a 12 by 12 paper. It's a little awkward to keep it in the camera, but I think we're going to roll with this. So I'm going to slice this at 1.5 inches. Get this out of the way. I have papers everywhere, y'all. Just home and leaving for the camper soon. Oh my gosh, I want to go camping. It is so hot here right now. So I'm going to write this down if I can find a good pen. So our page is 7 1/4 inches. So let's say we do a 1/2 inch on either side. That means we need to add an inch. So we need it to be 8.5 inches, and then we did 1.5 inches. So this is what we need for our belly band. Okay. Does that make sense? Hi, Pamela. How are you, love? Are you home from the hospital yet? So off of this 12 by 12, actually it's 12 by 1.5 right now, we are going to cut 3.5 inches off. Okay. So we're going to take this to the 3.5 inch mark. We're going to cut this. Now, if you want to score these lines, you can. And you want to score a 1/2 inch on each side. So I am going to, is that in the, that's in the camera view. Perfect. So I'm just going to score a 1/2 inch on each side of this. And now we're done with the paper cutter. Welcome in, everyone. Thanks for joining. E. Marcy, hello. Nurse Nancy, welcome. So these are going to get folded over for our belly band in our book. So this is already has this decoration on it. We are going to kind of recreate what we did before. You can do Fabri-Tac, or you can do your art glitter glue. It's whatever you want to do. Because what we're going to do now, and this is the art glitter glue. If you are new to this, it does not have glitter in it. That's just the name of the glue. It dries clear, it dries quickly, it's permanent water-based, non-toxic, and it dries acid-free. This glue is made here in Arizona, and I know that there are a couple of people on here that are selling it now. So, I don't know. Amy, you probably know who sells it on here. If you want to pop that in chat, if you want to get some of this, we are going to just glue down a little strip of, again, I left my fabric scissors at the sewing machine, so we're just going to do this. I'm going to eyeball it. Just a little decoration on here. That's all. And we are going to take our art glitter glue. We're just going to kind of go down the center. And this is for decoration only. It's not going to really be holding anything other than this lace down, so we should be good. If you are new to me, I am actually doing a raid train on Tuesday that is for National Upcycle Day. It is hosted by Lilac Bloom, and I will have these glue stoppers for sale in that. They are upcycled with old vintage jewelry. So I'm just going to lay this in the center. Just pushing it down. That does not look very centered. And there is our lace decoration on this belly band. Junk paper scissors. Love be my motives. Okay. Thank you so much, ladies. So there's that. The next thing that we did is find a piece of scrap paper because I have a ton of that. I just have a piece of scrap cardstock. We're going to stamp the same saying on it. The saying I got from the Naked Maple. It is amazing. She has a lot of stamps that she's selling right now. I think Artlines said she was getting it. I'm not sure that she did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she said she was going to. She was in here Tuesday when we were doing this, and I'm pretty sure she said that she was going to try to get some. That was horrible. Not in any way, shape, or form straight. There we have it. So what I'm going to do with this, we're going to hope that this piece we cut off, well, isn't that just snazzy? That fits. I like when things like that just work out, where your scrap laying beside you fits your saying perfectly. Can't go wrong. Okay, so we need some ink. And when you are inking your stamps, I'm just going to go full-blown basic here. You can take your stamp to your ink pad and tap. If you have a larger stamp, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit, you take your ink pad and you ink this way. It's always about moving it, getting that ink built up on your stamp. I am not even touching my desk. I don't know how it's bouncing the camera. That's craziness. So get it good and inked. I'm going to center this on as best as possible on this piece of paper. You want to go straight down, hold for 3 seconds to let that ink soak into your paper, and then straight up. And that is how you get a good stamped image. It's a little crooked, but we're going to roll with it. We're going to take a dabber, a little sponge. I know there's a technical word for those, but it's gone right now. We're just going to sponge that edge just to give it a little bit of a worn look. What I like to do when I'm doing this, I don't know why I just decided to do this. If you kind of crinkle up your paper a little bit and just lightly run over it, the sponge catches all those little wrinkles and it makes this look aged and worn. And I really like that look when you're doing these projects, especially because that was really bright white and I did not like it. Blending tool, thank you. See, I knew there was a good word for it. So because our belly band is this, we're going to use the opposite side of this. And it's pretty much already edged for us, which is nice. We are going to take, again, our art glitter glue. It does not take a ton, y'all. This stuff is like the super glue of wet glues because it holds so well. Just center it on there as best as possible. Have that. We're going to set that aside and we're going to put this in our book. No, we're not. We're going to decorate our page that we're putting it on. So you could at this point attach this, only it's too long. How did I manage that? So here's a fun fact with this. When you do this and it's too long, which I have no clue why it is, because I never do measurements, I just wrap it around. That's how that happens. I'm just going to fold it under. Easy fix. Welcome in, everyone. If you are joining us on YouTube, welcome. We are just redoing our project from Tuesday Art Room. If you are on Whatnot, welcome and thanks for coming in. I appreciate you all. So, happy Friday, my friend. I'm using your stamp again. I told you I needed this in my life. I love it. Um, we are doing a repeat of Tuesday. So you could leave this as is, or you could decorate this. It is completely up to you what you want to do with it. When we did this one, we stamped and just gave it some interest. I think we're probably going to do the same thing with this just because I have the stamp sitting beside me and we can. This time we are going to, and this is what I was talking about with these large background stamps. I have glue on my fingers and now I'm getting it on there. You want to take your ink to your large stamp. And why is my phone acting crazy? I do not know. No idea. Hi, Steph. How are you, dear? So anybody that is in here that is a seller, a creator, or all of the above, first of all, I want to say I am sending out signups for the July Artisan Creative Train where we do 30-minute demos. If you are interested in getting in that, please send me a DM. And the second thing I want to say is I want everybody to follow each other. If you have upcoming shows, please put them in chat, share. We all love a good demo. We all love sharing what we do. And I think this is a good platform for everybody to share what it is they do. So, Steph triggered that because I know she's a newer seller and she's wildly talented. And I'm sure a lot of you have not been in one of her shows yet. You need to check her out. Sarah, just do it. We have a very supportive community. I'm putting a piece of paper under this so I don't get this ink on other parts because it is permanent. I just want to get some interest on here. I do not need an exact pattern on here. I know it's not going down into the spine area, and we're going to fix that in a minute. So, like I said, you can, because this is a permanent ink, Sarah, thank you. I'm just going to wipe some of that off with a baby wipe. You can use a stamp cleaner. Pretty much whatever you want to do. With the permanent ink, it really doesn't matter much because it's going to dry and it's not going to transfer to your projects. If it were a dye-based ink or one of the ever popular Tim Holtz inks, you would need to clean your stamps because those colors will bleed into other projects and other ink pads. Yeah, we definitely are a very supportive community here and try our best to make sure everyone succeeds. Um, so we did, I think I'm going to just go ahead and do this in brown just so it's cohesive of the background color. Um, yes, you use these with an acrylic block. Yes, I have acrylic blocks, but because I'm wanting to get, oh, I suppose I should scoot this over so you can see. Because I'm wanting to get into this spine area here in my book, I'm just going to ink my stamp and I'm going to use my fingers to push it down and get it down in there. I would not do this with a stamp that I was worried about getting a clear image. But I'm just filling in these spaces so it doesn't really affect because it's a grungy background and we all know I love my grunge. I'm just putting a few of these on other spots so it just kind of all blends together. And there we have it. What are we gonna do? Thanks, Jane. I know my grunge. Tamara unlocked bronze. Congratulations. I'm wiping this off because popping it back in there. Last time we did these flowers. Because of this, I think this flower is going to look good with this. Um, we'll see what happens. See if this will even stick. Most of these stamps are so old, it's ridiculous. We are going to go with a green because it's here. And I'm just using permanent. This is Ranger's archival inks. I love them so much. I use them very frequently. I also use a lot of the StazOn inks. Um, Thank you, Ames. You're actually working on your ATCs. I'm going to be working on ATCs, finishing that up on Sunday because Rob's going to be not home, so I'm going to have some free time. If anybody wants me to, I would be happy to go live with that. I'm going off the edge. Again, it just gives it, that'll work, a just kind of flows smoother. I like doing that. Jacqueline and Pam, welcome in. How are you doing today? We are live streaming to YouTube. Hopefully it all works and it will be there when we are finished. I was so frustrated on Tuesday when we got done. I went in to change the name on the video so you would see that it was the art journal, the mental health journal, and it was just not there. Okay, so here we are with this. This is our belly band. And with a belly band, you can do one of two things. You can put it down on the page, glue it directly on, or you can actually wrap it around the page and then deal with this when you go to decorate this page. Either way works perfectly. It just kind of depends on what you are doing with your project. If you want it to be I'm going to pull this fabric off because it's awful bulky. See what I'm doing? This is literally ripping this. This is how good this glue works. Just pointing out. Snipping that edge off. Get rid of some of that bulk. I am leaving, just to verbalize what I just did, I'm leaving a little bit of space here so I can slide things under. If you are going to just put a single page under, you can do this tightly. It's whatever you need to do. Now I'm laying this down. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it right there. When it sits here, it looks like I need a flower right here. It doesn't look right to me. But if I put it over here, it looks more balanced. Does that make sense? All right. Again, the art glitter glue. On both of these that I have folded over. Put a pin back in it so it doesn't clog up. And I'm just going to lay this at the edge of my page. Is it straight? Absolutely not. There we have it. Wendy, working on your July ATCs. June's are in the mail. Awesome. Thank you. Junk paper scissors. You're adding a show for Tuesday. Are you going to do a morning one? That still looks crooked to me. It's because it is. It's not going to move. It's there. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to add our saying. Usually in the afternoon. Okay. Because Tuesday afternoons we do the art room mental health journal. Down here. Sounds like a plan to me. So I'm putting my finger there so I know where I want to stick this glue. I'm going to concentrate mainly putting this glue on that lace. We'll lay this down. And again, I know it's fine, Jane. Jane, did you not get modded in all that disaster I just did? What the heck? I pushed the button. There it worked. Okay. Good gracious. I made a belly band for my journal a couple of days ago. The 9x6 envelope booklet fit perfect. I know, right? It was just so much fun to make. And the thing with these is you can take these out, you can make lists, you can put receipts. And I mean, with this kind of thing, I can pull this out of my journal. I can make my list when I go shopping. I can put my receipts in the pocket, and then I can just store it in my journal. So the journal that we're working on is more of a working journal to where you actually use it. It's pretty, but it's functionable. Maria, much love. I will chat with you later. Have a safe camping experience and have a blessed rest of your day. So there's that. Easy peasy, right? So that was our project in the mental health journal for this week. I'm going to set that aside and we're going to start playing with the hot wax that we have up here. I'm going to start out, if things would stop falling, by showing you some of the things that we did. Um, is Carmen in here? I didn't see if she popped in the door. So these are some of the projects that this is a faux batik. This is a finished piece. You can use this for your slow stitching because you have all of these wonderful shapes to slow stitch around. You can use this, tear it up, and put it on tags. You can use this for your snippet rolls, your clusters. Um, there's just so many things that you can do. Why is that hooked? With a hand decorated piece of fabric. Um, and it's relatively easy. The batik look, you can use whatever colors you want. This is a pastel one that I did. Um, here's another one. This is one I did drawing leaves. Um, it's just, this is one that we have work in progress that I'm going to show you how to do one of the steps. And then this is another, I don't know why I like this one so much, but maybe because it has purple in it. But this is another one that I did. And we're going to be using this as a step in as one of the steps. So those are aside. Basically what you want to do is start out with a piece of just plain computer paper. I have beside me pieces of, this is a thinner muslin. I have done this on linen. I've done it on raw silk. I've done it on all different types of fabrics. One of the things that you need to keep in mind when you are doing this is you just want to make sure that your hot wax penetrates your fabric. Another thing that you need to make sure that you have are paint brushes that are designated for this project. You can see this is the one I use for my paints. These are the ones that I use to draw with my wax. I just use tea lights, um, grungy dollar store or thrift store candles. You just need some wax and you need it to be melted. However that looks for you. You could technically, if you don't have, oh, that is so hot. Why did I do that? I know better. I should pick this up from the bottom. You could technically burn a tea light and just dab your wax in the tea light. Just make sure you don't catch your paintbrush on fire. So our wax is fairly, well, it's very hot now. But you can see I have wax from the last time we were doing this. I'm just scraping it off and letting it drop in there. I want to make sure that my paintbrush, what is on it, is very fully melted. If you are worried about drips and making a mess, because as you take this to your fabric to draw, it potentially could drip. So if you want to, take it like this and then go to where you're going to paint. You can make all kinds of designs. And the thing with this is when you're doing it, you want to make sure that that wax penetrates your fabric. You can see it on both sides. So we're doing good. Um, I'm just going to keep going down, drawing on the fabric, and you can do whatever you want. You can make circles, you can make lines, you can do shapes, you could draw a face. Whatever it is that you want, wherever you're putting the wax, it is going to resist. See how that just dripped? I'm just going to go with it and we're going to do that over there. It's a little bit wider, but it's okay. So, whichever way you choose to do this, whatever you want to do with it, um, the traditional batik is actually, we are making faux batik fabric. You can. Sarita, you can very much do that. You don't, I mean, obviously, you don't have to freehand this. You can um, have a water soluble pencil, or you could just do like one of the fabric marking pencils. Um, the thing with it is that those markings are probably still going to be there, and I'm going to show you an example of that in a second. I used a Stabilo pencil on this piece because I drew the circles and you can still see the pencil line. The other side, you really can't see it. So it kind of depends on what you're doing with it and if you want those pencil lines to be there. But absolutely, you can draw on it. Um, you can be as loose with it or as precious with it as you want. It's totally up to you. I'm just putting in some leaves because I think today we're going to go with some greens. I'm feeling kind of green today. So what is everybody creating? Is anybody working with me? Yeah, that's what the sewing pencils and pins. Jane says that there's a marker that disappears with heat that you can find in your sewing section. I'm going to switch over to this smaller brush. I don't know what I was thinking. Just to get a little there we go. So I'm just going to go through here and make a bunch of leaves. Does anybody have any questions, input, suggestions? The traditional batik is a very long, lengthy process. It has been around for thousands of years. And if you go into YouTube and put in traditional batik, watching them create the traditional way involves ginormous vats of dyes and wax. They actually have stamps that they dip the stamps in the wax and they stamp patterns on their pieces. Traditionally, what you would do is put your initial pattern down, and then you add paint to the places that you want paint. Then you put wax over where you painted. Let all of that dry completely, and then you dip the whole thing in a vat of fabric dye. Once all of that is done and it is completely dry, and they air dry it on clotheslines, and once everything is completely dry from that, then they dip it in boiling water to melt off the wax, and that is how you're left with the batik pattern. It is a very fascinating project. We also do faux batik. I taught a class of faux batik in a card making class, and we did it with paper. So that may be a upcoming stamping tutorial. I used to run workshops to teach stamping techniques and card making. So it may be something that in the future I start doing. I'm not sure. For right now, I'm just having fun playing in the art room and sharing all of my art with you. Who knows? Who knows what the future may bring? If there's a technique that you are interested in learning, let me know. I probably have samples and a class for it. So, just some side thoughts on creating different things. And a lot of the old stamping techniques that we used in our scrapbooks and in our card making can be translated to junk journaling. And I know that a lot of you are junk journalers, but just understand that all of those techniques, all of these things that we do in our art journals can actually work very well in your junk journals. So, and a lot of the products we use are very similar. Sarita, I have a hummingbird batik. Sounds good. Bailey, are you going live, babe? Does anyone remember the Carol Duvall show? And she had that lady on there that would iron a stamp into velvet. Yes, I do remember Carol Duvall. Wow, that's like taking it back, my dear. Steph, are we the same age? I'm kind of feeling like we're of that same age group. Oh God, no, I'm way older than you. Never mind. I'm old. I'm so old. Just called myself out on that too. That's kind of funny. So, this is kind of a long, tedious process, and I probably should have had half of this done before we started, but as you all said, you don't mind hanging out with me all afternoon, right? Actually, Wendy said. but you need to see this next step. So there's that. Um, Luckily, it's going to be on YouTube. So if you want to catch it later, you can. If you need to go, you can fast forward through this boring part and get to the good part, right? Let's see, what else do we have going on? That lady was always super excited about stuff, but it was such a cool technique. Yeah, we it's hard to find that good velvet though. Problem is they have so many synthetics in the fabrics now that it's frightening. If you can find some old school velvet, that's awesome. Okay, we're gonna just scooch over a little bit. This is an amazing technique that one of the ladies that does art journaling workshops, she has a blog and all kinds of different things. I've taken a number of classes from her over the years. Um, she was doing this, and I was actually watching one of the slow stitch videos that she was doing, and she was using her handmade batik fabric in her slow stitch projects. And my brain was like, oh my gosh, I have just got to share this with everyone because Carmen, who is the Gathered Crafter, has started offering slow stitch kits. And I'm sure a lot of you are doing that with her. I actually bought a kit and I thought it was for this month when I bought it and didn't realize it was for next month because she sells them a month in advance. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to go make my own. Go take the old velvet pants out of the closet. Wendy, do you still have some of those? Redo this. I missed a whole side of leaves. I missed the sides. You know what? We're going to just go with this like this. Yeah, we're going to go with this. Okay. We're going to be done with this for a second. So, what we have here, we have our wax on here. It has gone through to the back, so I know it's going to resist my paints. I am good with this. You can use so many different paints. You can use a watered down acrylic paint. You can use watercolors. You can use your spray inks. Um, you can use dye-based inks. As long as you're not going to be washing this. Why did I just get a notice I paused my show? Yeah, I wish I had some. Are we good, everybody? Okay. Maybe it's just my device freaking out. You can pretty much use whatever paints you want for this. It's like, I want to show you. This one was done with watercolors. It has kind of a dreamy effect. This one was done with um, distress sprays and spritzes. This was done with acrylic spray ink by Dina Wakely. This one was done with dye-based ink pads. And then this one was also done with watercolors. So there's just different, you can do different paints. You will get a different look for each one, but I just want to kind of show you how this works. Like I said, get a paintbrush that is just for this. And the reason I say that is as you're painting on this, Your paintbrush is gonna pick up some of that wax, and you don't want to ruin a good paintbrush. You need some water. And my water is an old jar. I have decorative marbles at the bottom, so I can run my paintbrush over it and not ruin the ferrule. Um, it's just an artist thing. You do what's best for you. So there's the water. We're going to set that over there. I'm sitting here trying to debate what I want to do. I just made a decision. We're going to do something kind of different. Uno momento, my friends. I need another green. That is a really bright green. Oh, do we have a dark green, my friends? All right, we're going to go with these. So I just grabbed, these are India inks. And we're going to see what it does with India inks because I've never done it with the India inks. So why not? Another thing that I want to do is, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess that up. So you can do one of two things. You can drop some drops on a palette. You can take your damp paintbrush, and I just have a rag. You can water this down to whatever color you want, and you can paint directly onto your fabric. You can kind of see where it's resisting. I'm going around and just letting it soak in. And when I'm rubbing this down in, you can see that I'm getting some stuff on my paintbrush, and that is why I told you, get a paintbrush that you don't mind getting wax on. The other thing you want to do is, I'm keeping it fairly wet just because I want to be able to blend these colors. Okay. Does anybody have any questions thus far? Painting greens like the blues, but in circles. Yeah. It's a green day. So if you are interested in joining our ATC swap, we are currently taking signups for the July ATC swap. You do 15 cards, 2.5 by 3.5 inches. They are due to me by July 25th. You mail me 15 artist trading cards. mail them to me. I will swap them out with everyone else's, and you will get 15 beautiful creations from other artists. You do not have to be a seller to join. The theme for July is monochromatic. We have 2 groups that are running. You are welcome to join both groups, but you have to do a different card for each group. So that is in the works. If anybody is interested, please send me a direct message and I will add you to our group chat and get all the particulars. So I've painted the leaves this green. I want to kind of do a contrasting color, and I don't know how this is going to work out for me, but it sounds like a good idea. We're going to use aqua. Most of the batiks are bright colors. They're gorgeous. I'm just going to use this color to go down those lines that I did. And I'm kind of going to the side of where I have wax so it bleeds out into the stuff that's next to it. And this is just an acrylic ink that I'm using. It's an India ink. I use these a lot in my mixed media. They're very flowy, but they're also very permanent, which is awesome. This does not have to be perfect. And see how those bled together? I'm okay with that. Now, typically with the traditional batik, what you would do is paint all of this on and then cover this with a layer of wax to seal these painted colors in, and then all of this white space here is what would get dyed with the fabric dyes when they dip them in the vats. My thoughts on that are I have done that like the traditional way once in my life, and it was not a fun experience because I had purple hands for like 2 weeks. So there's that. It's one of those things that if you play with fabric dyes, if you do tie dye, it's the same concept realistically. You just have to be more careful with where you place everything. And all of this would need to be covered with wax in order to maintain these colors. So it is a long process. It is, and that is why when you see real traditional batik items, they're not cheap. because it takes a lot of work to do this in the traditional way. I'm just adding a little bit of water to these edges to make them bleed because I want that color to bleed out a little bit. This is going to have to dry for hours. So this is not a project that you can just do one sheet and be done with it in an hour. I do have one that's painted and completely dry to show you the next step. So you don't have to wait for that to happen. Before this dries completely, I think I'm going to add, I'm sitting here debating whether I want to add some brown for some more earthy look or if I want to add a brighter green in here. Haven't decided yet. I think the brown with the earthy leaves will look really good, but I'm scared it's going to make it too dark. So again, this is just a matter of playing, knowing how your colors blend, how they all go together, is a good thing to know. All right, we're done with this, Tim. So I'm going to do this and we'll see what happens. I'm going to do brown on the edges and see how I like it. How about a rust? I have a terracotta. Yeah. See, up your art knows what's up. Terracotta works for me. Yeah, good call. Thank you. I'm like, I'm not feeling either the brown or the green. The green that I have is like a hideous. Anyway, terracotta, my friend. Good job. Good call. Good call. And again, I'm just dropping it on my palette over here. I have a wet paintbrush and I'm just going to pull it down the sides. Oh, yeah. Good call. And I'm going to fill in those spaces. Traditionally, like I said, these spaces would be filled in with fabric dyes. But we're not doing that here today. Today we are just using this. Grab some more water, spread that out. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Just going around these leaves. I kind of want to maintain the shapes, but I like the way those colors are blending. And it's okay if I have some white spots in there because when I take that wax off, I'm going to have white spots anyway. So it won't look so haphazard craziness like it does right now. And I'm going to show you once I get this done. This may be a part 3 to this because you're not going to be able to see how this piece comes out today. Because you see how wet this is? This is going to take hours to dry. Whoa, that was a lot of paint. So that got really dark because I didn't have a lot of water in there. That's okay. Now we're just kind of getting into the, oh, didn't mean to do that. Trying to hurry is what the problem is. Just take your time and stop hurrying. This is a very meditative practice. Anytime, I mean, for me, painting is just very meditative. So, meditative, I can't even talk. See, focus on what I'm doing. We're going to go down this side. Take it outside. Yeah. It is very hot outside today. It's not as hot as it was yesterday because we have a breeze up here, which is nice. Critter Chops, hello, welcome in. We are again doing batik fabric because between Whatnot and YouTube, somehow our video from Tuesday Art Room got lost. So we are doing a impromptu repeat of that class. How are you doing today, sir? Okay, making sure all of that is good. Cleaning my paintbrush. So for this extra paint, I'm just soaking it up on a piece of paper. And this will be used for collage, for backgrounds, for all the things. We do not waste paint. All right. This is going to have to dry a long time. Shall we yell at the hubby and see if he'll set it outside in the sun for us? You're good getting ready for tomorrow. It's going to be a good one. Yeah, you're doing a show tomorrow, right? Are you doing crafty stuff tomorrow? Or are you just doing a bit of this and a bit of that tomorrow? Oh, it's just private. Oh, I got it. Got it. Okay. So we're going to blow the candle out because I forgot to do that. And let that wax cool. Just set that out of my way. So this is going to dry hours. I don't know that I want it outside in the sun because Arizona is so hot. I worry that it will melt the wax and mess up my pattern that I've created. Just a thought. So we're going to set this aside to dry. I am going to take my baby wipe, make sure I have all of that paint off of this mat, because we're going to go to a page that has actually dried. This is one that is actually dried. This is just the wax and the paint, obviously, that's stuck to the paper. This has been drying. Sorry for all the crinkling. Since Tuesday, because I did this Tuesday night. Gosh, that's loud. There. So you can still see the wax is still on there. We painted this with the Dina Wakley spray inks. This page here can actually be used in your art for collage. You can use spray inks on it. You can use stamps on it. You can, this is really good collage paper. You could actually put this on your jelly plate to pull a print, and all of these little designs here would actually resist the ink on the jelly plate. So don't throw these away. Okay. I'm going to not do this whole thing because it's a lot. I have a palette knife, and what you want to do, be careful that you don't cut your fabric. You want to go slow with this. And what I'm doing is I'm scraping away that wax, and I'm revealing that first initial pattern that we drew on this fabric. Pretty cool, huh? So you're going to do that with your whole sheet, and just because here, just like the one we just did, that's a hot mess. But we're revealing the pattern below and getting as much of that wax scraped as possible. Another thing that I use, and you have to be really careful with this. I do, because Rob sharpened this for me, but this is from an appetite set for cheese that I had that we don't use anymore. And you could use a paint scraper. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. Some people actually keep that wax and reuse it. I have, because I use so many different paints, I just throw this excess wax away and start over again. So you just scrape as much of it as you can. Once you've scraped as much of it as you can off of your fabric, what ends up happening is there's still going to be some there, okay? You're not going to get it all off by scraping. I have a paper towel beside me that I'm just wiping this knife off, and just continue to scrape all of this. Wendy, thank you. It is really cool. Yeah. And like I said, this is something that it's a time consuming project. Okay, you guys, but sometimes we need that mindless art that we can do, that you can paint with wax and aren't looking for perfection. You can scrape the wax off of your fabric. Um, we're creating a gorgeous piece of fabric that can be used in a slow stitch project. We are creating a piece of fabric that can be used in a tag for your journal. You could make bookmarks out of these. You could make hair ties out of these. You could make a pocket on your favorite bag. There's so many possibilities of what this fabric could be used for. And you know, every time you see that project, this is something that you have created with your own two hands. And it's not just a store bought piece of fabric with a fun design. This is a design that you made yourself by repurposing items, um, taking the time to just create is so good for our mental health on so many levels. Um, I think I'm going to take a pause and turn on the iron. Um, this is something that you definitely want to use a craft iron. You definitely do not want to use your iron that you're going to use on your clothing, because the chances of getting wax, oh, we got it on here too, on your iron are fairly high. I gave you your stencil. It's in your stuff from the meetup. Jane, just clarifying that. I'm giving you Sydney probably stole it out of your bag, so you'd have to go back to visit her. That would be funny. In a not so funny kind of way. Oh, got it. So, how do you store your stencils, everybody? Do you have stencils, and how do you store them? That's a good question. One of my favorite um, artists, she actually designs and sells stencils. She stores all of her stencils on a spinning rack, and they're all hung. So it's like going into a department store and spinning the rack. When you spin her rack, it's just hundreds of stencils. I have a little bit of jealousy over that. Her, oh, what is her thing? Mm-mm. Just her name is escaping me right now. It's funny, I've watched her for years and her name's just gone. I know she's Art Girl on Instagram, but I can't remember. Well, I guess I could fix it because I have her stencils right beside me with her name on it. Uh, one way to fix your brain, right? Look at the package. Sean Petit. She designs amazing grungy art pieces and does a lot of tutorials, classes, all of that. But her studio setup is just to die for. Goals in life, you know? I was almost there when I had to give up my art room. It was a very sad moment, but it's life, and we adapt and we continue to create regardless of how much space or how many things we have. And that is one of the beautiful things about creating in our art community is that Jane, mine are on a ring and others are in a 12 by 12 box. Great, a binder with sleeves. Judy, I can't find mine. What about using a pale colored base fabric like baby blue or mint green? Absolutely. Because whatever color fabric is going to show through when you're scraping this. Binder with sleeves, great. Who did I miss? Sarita, minor with sleeves, Wendy, and a binder with clear pockets and sleeves. So, yes, to all of those things. Um, I had a binder. I have a binder. Had is relative in these days, but I have a binder with stencils in clear plastic sleeves. And then I got a second binder with clear plastic sleeves. And at that point, I probably should have said, hey, Tam, and another one that I loved, and another one that I loved. So now I have two binders with stencils, and I have a huge drawer beside me that I put my current favorite ones in. And I say current favorite ones because it changes constantly. Does anybody else have that problem? Yeah, it's a whole thing. So, get this out of the way. I have scraped a lot of this wax off. I'm turning on my iron to the cotton setting. And this is a heat. Am I going to part with any? I have to. Like, I just have to. I gave Bailey a whole stack of them when she was here the last time. Um, that is one of those de-stash things that I haven't gotten to go through with yet. Because here's what happens. I'm scared that here's my brain. I'm scared that I know I'm going to need something and I'm going to sell it and then I'm going to be mad at myself that I can't find it. Because a lot of the things that I have are from so many years ago, a lot of them I can't get. So I think what I'm going to do, oh, no. Daughter would be in so much trouble for that. I will let you know, Judy. Message me themes that you're looking for. So this is just plain computer paper, okay? Just plain. I'm going to lay my fabric that has been scraped. I didn't get all the wax. And then I'm going to lay a second piece of paper on here, okay? I have a hot iron. This is an old iron that I got at a thrift store. I use it only for crafts. I just dumped water everywhere because it has water in it. That's a disaster. Don't turn it over so people can see that. Okay. You don't want to iron. You want to press. It does not normally sizzle. That is the water that I dumped. But see how this paper is pulling that wax? That is all of the wax that I missed. Okay. The paper's pulling it. I want to make sure that I hit every spot on that paper. So I get all the pieces of that wax. So what it did was it pulled wax through the bottom and it pulled the wax through the top. And what I like to do with this, because I can feel that there's still some spots that I missed, I will take another piece of paper, clean paper, put it on top, and just repeat that process. Typically, I will repeat that process until there's very minimal wax. The edges are often missed. I don't know if you can see over here. The edges are often missed when you're scraping because you don't want to tear that fabric when you're scraping. So when I'm ironing, I always make sure that I get to the edges of that fabric underneath. And I'm just slowly taking it across, making sure that I've gotten the majority of that. And then I'm turning my paper around so it's different spots to potentially grab more of that. Let me get the flip my fabric around so you can see in the camera. There we have it. I think we got the majority of it off. Now, all of these papers, do not throw them away. These make amazing resist to use on your jelly plate. So just set these aside, keep them, and we can use those on our jelly for jelly prints. Yeah. So there we have it, my friends. That is your faux batik fabric. Does anybody have any questions? I'm moving the iron so I don't burn myself. Any questions, my friends? So we have this. This was done with a thinner fabric. This was more like a real thin cotton. That was not fun to scrape. We have our pastel one, the blues, that one, and then our leaves. So there we have it. I would appreciate it if everyone would bookmark my shows next week. I have not decided if I'm going live thrifting on Monday or if we're just going to do another sale in the art room because I need to clean some of the stuff out. So either way, bookmark Monday's shows Tuesday, I am doing the Recycle Raid Train that is hosted by Lilac Bloom. It is this is so much fun. You are very welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate it. I am going to raid you into Bailey because she is doing her Friday Fun Day, and she has 2 people in there. So we need to go show our friend Bailey Wire Weaved Unique some love. I am going to finish that other page. I will show it to you next Tuesday when we are here. Um, Much love to each and every one of you. Everyone on YouTube, thank you for joining. If you have any questions, please send me a direct message, and I will see you next time. Have a blessed rest of your day.